Hello again, this is Mike with Toy Train Tips and Tricks, and today we're taking a look at the locomotive that is by far the rarest engine in my collection, and also happens to be my least favorite to operate. What we are looking at here, this is a locomotive that you basically don't find in any of the price guides. It is so rare. We have an 8140 steam locomotive in an 040 configuration. This was most often found as a 240, and it first came on the scene in 1971 in a couple of uncatalogued sets. This is as bare bones as MPC's steam locomotive production got. You don't have a reversing E unit. You do have a switch on top for manual reverse. By throwing the switch, basically, you change the position of the wires to the motor to change direction, and then to change direction back, you have to flip it again. No smoke. It does have a headlight. Originally, there was an ornamental bell right there that broke off once upon a time. I'll have to replace that one of these days. But like I said, normally you find this as a 240. Here it is as an 040. And what makes it really unusual is coming as a Southern. This is most often found as a nickel plate road 240. Or sometimes it is seen as a green Southern 8140 240. But to find a black Southern 040 in the 8140, you're not going to find it in most price guides. The reason is it was offered as an uncatalogued set sometime between 1973 and 1975. I don't recall for sure when I got it. I was kind of young. And we're not sure about which mass retailer marketed it. Santa, my dad, doesn't remember for sure which retailer it came from, whether it was Sears or Penny's or Service Merchandise or who it was back then. But it was sometime between 73 and 75, an uncatalogued set, very unusual. So why is it my least favorite to run? Well, mainly it doesn't have reverse, doesn't have smoke, and this short 040 wheelbase, you have to run it pretty fast in order to get it to go through any turnouts or crossovers. But at the same time, at high speeds, it's not a very reliable engine. On O27 track, it tends to tip over. It's top heavy. I've got it running on an 042 loop here. Makes it a little better. But you'll notice that it more waddles down the track than running down the track. It is not a great puller. It's not very heavy. The one saving thing about it was the tender does have, you see the wheel there on the bottom, the mighty mechanical sound of steam, often referred to by collectors as the bean can. Essentially, there are beads inside a chamber. The wheel spins along the track, it spins the chamber, and then you get the clunk clunk or chug chug sound mechanically created as the tender runs around the track. So pull back, I'll run it for you so you can see what it is and what I'm talking about here. But here it is, the 8141, a rather unusual locomotive. All right, so here we go. All right, and if you're just running around a basic loop, it will crank down to a slower speed, but in order to get across any turnouts or crossovers, as you see there, you've got to crank up the speed in order to let momentum get it through the dead spots. With only the four wheels, the 4 points of contact, and actually only 3 points of contact because one of those has a traction tire on it, it has a problem grounding to the track. If it were a 240, it would also have the lead wheels as a contact point to help with the ground. But as the 040 and with a traction tire, if there's any interruption caused by, say, insulated rails in the turnouts, or just dirty track or whatever. With only the 3 contact points, it likes to sputter out. So that's why we've got it cranked up at a faster speed here in order to get through these turnouts without stopping. You hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of the bean can. Let me get a little closer. You can hear it there. I seem to recall it was louder when I was younger, so I don't know. Somehow the sound wears out over the years. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be as loud now as it used to be. And you'll also notice that it kind of waddles down the track a little bit. Anytime there's any imperfection in the track whatsoever, a rough rail joint or anything like that, you see how it tends to bounce down the track. So that makes it not the greatest runner. Got just a couple of cars behind it, including the caboose that came with it. The reason that we know that this was made in the 73 to 75 range, besides when we purchased it, is that that southern caboose was only available from 73 to 75. So this could not have been part of one of the 1971 uncatalogued sets, because that caboose was not available in 71 and it came with the engine. So there it is. That's about all it does. Can't really switch with it because of the lack of reverse. It doesn't pull real well. It doesn't smoke. It doesn't whistle. It doesn't make a whole lot of sound. It just goes around. And like I said, on tighter radius track, you get it up to speed like this, and it tends to turn over in the curves. Doing all right here on the O42, but again, just because it's so difficult to work with this locomotive, I don't run it very often. But there it is, the 8140 MPC. This one made sometime between 1973 and 1975. And if you have information on the uncatalogued set that this would have come with, I'm certainly interested in hearing it. Add that to the comments. But in any case, as always, we ask you to like it, subscribe, share it, tell your friends, and join us for the next video. And until then, this is Mike signing off from Boy Train Tips and Tricks.